Hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Girls Lounge podcast with your hosts, Liz and KT. And today, in our 96th episode, we're going to be talking about our relationship deal breakers. I feel like you guys love every time we talk about anything relationships. So here we are delivering that for you guys. But before we get into today's episode, make sure that if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, that you are following our show. And then if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you are subscribed. And even if you are typically a watcher, just go to Spotify or Apple and follow us anyways, because it helps us out a lot. Like always, before we get into our main topics, we are gonna talk about what we've been up to. For me, school. I'm joined with a beautiful matcha today, and I think I've kind of mentioned in past episodes that I've had like this big like capstone project, and I finally got that over with, that presentation over with. I presented last Friday, and it feels so good to just have that over with. Unfortunately, I do still have four big presentations and some papers left. Ask me how I'm doing, not well, but the fact that I don't have the stress of like the capstone and stuff is like, I do feel a lot more calmer though, and everything does feel kind of manageable, but it's still like insane, and I can't believe that like in a couple weeks that I'm gonna graduate. But yeah, but anyways, wish me luck for this last bit of school. And yeah, I'm honestly just kind of vibing right now. I'm just, manifesting good things for myself and other things that I'm working on. And I think I'm mastering moving in silence. I fear they ate with that. I'm like, why is it truly when you just like keep things to yourself, things happen in fruition? Yeah. So I've been enjoying that. And yeah, that's what I've been up to.
And then I've been training, and more training 24/7, 365. Yeah. But I'm officially halfway. Yeah, I'm halfway. I finished week 3. I'm starting week 4 when we're recording this. So I'm halfway through training, and I get to pick up my uniform this week, which is really exciting. But also like what if I, like, not putting it out there, but like what if I don't make it, like that's crazy that I had it. And like, yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna think about it too much, because if not, I'm gonna spiral. But I've just been doing training, and then also this past week my allergies have been so bad, you guys. Like, I forgot that it was spring until my nose was literally stuffy 20 every single day, and it's like all nasally. So my allergies have been killing me. I guess it's that Texas, I don't know, weather or something, but it's been like super cloudy here, not gonna lie. I was expecting it to be like sunny, and it's been like sunny like once a week. Other than that, it's been like cloudy. But it's okay. My allergies though, I think I'm on an up. I don't sound as stuffed up and congested today, so I think that's a good sign. But yeah, I'm hanging in here. And yeah, we're gonna get through it, you guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, ooh, you sound a little sick, but also, Liz, you forgot the most exciting part of your training that's happened recently, where you're gonna be based.
Oh my gosh. You see, like, I swear every day I like forget. I forget that happened this week. I forget like what's going on. But yes, you guys, I found out where I'm going to be based, and drum roll, I'm going to be based in Chicago, and I'm so freaking excited. That was my number 1 pick, and I got it, and I'm so happy. There's like 20 of us, I think, or something, that are going to Chicago, so that'll be exciting. But yeah, I'm going to be in Chicago, and I'm so excited. You best believe I called up Jill, the first person I told, and I was like, I'm going to Chicago. And we've already started looking at like apartments and stuff. And yeah, I'm so excited for Chicago, especially because by the time I graduate and everything, I'm going to be in Chicago in the summer. And I feel like Chicago in the summertime is the perfect time to be in Chicago. But yeah, I'm so excited.
Yay. So everyone, if you live in Chicago, if you run into Elizabeth, say hi. But yeah, so that is all that we've been up to. Now on to our faves of the week. Mine is low-key the Spotify DJ. I feel like I said that word. Said that weird. The Spotify DJ feature, because recently I feel like, I don't know, music has not been like hitting in the way that like there's like specific things that I just have to listen to. And I'm a person that listens to like music in the shower and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what I want to listen to. So I'm just like, I just let Spotify DJ handle it. And like sometimes he be eating. And sometimes the transitions are kind of like, I'm like, wow, that was a crazy transition. But it is like a super cool feature.
And then my favorite of the week, you guys, has been going to the hot tub. I don't know why I said it so weird. The hot tub. That's my favorite of the week. I swear, I think like almost every day or every other day after class. Like my friends and I will go down to the hot tub, and it's just the most relaxing thing after like a long day of being like in class, sitting through lectures, sitting through doing stuff, and just like going and literally just like even for 20 minutes it feels so nice. Like last time I went, I just put in my laundry to dry, and then I went downstairs for like the 30 minutes that my laundry was doing, and it feels so nice. And I'm like, maybe I need to have like a hot tub pool in my like apartment, but I don't. That's not a need, you guys. But it's just, it truly is like so relaxing to just go into like the hot water and just sit there for a second. So that's my favorite of the week. I'm going to miss that when I have to leave here.
And now we're gonna get into pop culture. We have a couple of things we can talk about today. So first, this is the biggest news for me, and that is Olivia Rodrigo's new song is out. And I just wanted to come on here and say that personally, I love it. I remember right at midnight, I said, okay, we're gonna listen to this. I watched the music video first, and then I listened to like the actual like song on Spotify, because I feel like sometimes with music videos you're like too focused on the visuals to like really pay attention to the lyrics. So I did that. Best experience ever. And it like brought me like back to like when I first listened to Driver's License, because I was in the same room. It was during the pandemic, and just like wow, how like so much has happened since then. But I really like it. I feel like the song, like the first thing I thought of when I was listening to the song was like, this song feels like what it feels like to have like a crush on someone, and just like stalking them on the internet, and just like coming up with all these ideas of your head. And I just really liked it. I feel like some people don't really like it, but I'm just like, well, maybe you just don't get it then. But I'm super excited, and I feel like we could tell from the title that this is the beginning of the story, considering the album title is You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl in Love or something like that. So I think it's gonna be like in the beginning, it's like, oh, it's the crush, the feelings of falling in love and all that type of stuff. And then slowly like we're gonna get into some deeper songs. But I think for the first like single for this album, I think it was a really good choice, and I really liked it. I don't know if Elizabeth has any thoughts on it.
I don't have any thoughts. I haven't listened to it. I think I listened to like bits and pieces, but I haven't listened to it fully. To be completely honest with you guys, I feel like I just don't vibe necessarily with Olivia Rodrigo no more. I don't know. Like, I love her earlier, like her first album, obviously, like Sour, and then the other one, Vampire, whatever it is. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like she's just not really on my radar anymore. But I definitely will check it out when the full album is out and give you guys my thoughts. But as of right now, I have no thoughts.
And then Coachella weekend two. I feel like low key in the past couple of years, no one really has cared that much about weekend two, like even like brands and stuff. But I feel like this year, like weekend two is really like just as poppin' as Coachella weekend one in terms of like it being posted on social media. It seems like the artists like all like did even bigger things than weekend one. I saw a lot more brands have activations and stuff during weekend one, which I feel like we don't really see. So I thought that was just like really cool to see. And yeah, I think all the performances were low key better in weekend two than weekend one. So like weekend two people, y'all won. And like it had me looking up tickets and stuff for Coachella in 2027, which they've like already like announced like, oh, like tickets for next year are gonna go on sale, which I think is actually insane. But yeah, I don't know, I just really like the content. Like I just can't get enough of it this year. But that's all really I have to say.
All I know is, and I feel like people aren't talking about it enough, is the Hispanic artists, the Latina artists, they came to eat because Carol G, she did her thing. Like the performers, not the performers, the what's it called? The guest singers, the guest artists, I don't know, the surprise guests that she had perform, were literally, she ate it up. And I feel like not everyone is talking about her. Everybody's over here on Justin, but Carol G did her thing. And I feel like honestly a lot of them, like in general, I feel like everyone did a good thing. And I think that just goes to show that like when you have a good lineup, it's gonna be a good show no matter what, you know. And I think that's why like weekend two was like just as good.
I would have to agree with that. I actually saw a TikTok this morning about this girl. Her boyfriend was in the audience, recording her because she was a background dancer in Carol G's performance, and he was like so happy about that. I was like, oh, that's so cute. But I haven't seen much about Carol G's performance, but the little bits I have seen, it just looks really good. I'm pretty sure, or I know Becky G came out, and maybe did Camila Cabello came out? Oh, I must be thinking of something else. Or wait, she might have came out with someone else because I feel like I saw stuff about her. But yeah, I have seen some good things about it. And then last pop culture news. I mean, this is just something little. Kelsey's actually the one that brought the attention to me that there are rumors of Harry and Zoe Kravitz being engaged, which I don't really like keep up with Harry Styles in general like that, so I honestly don't have much to say, but I just thought it was interesting because I'm sure like a lot of people wear rings on their like what would be their ring finger, so I feel like it wouldn't be, I don't really like think they're really engaged because I feel like they just started dating like kind of recently, you know what I mean? But I mean, if they do end up getting engaged or if they are engaged, then I am here for that couple. And I saw like where these rumors came from like these pictures where like Harry was dropping off Zoe to her car and like gave her a little kiss goodbye. I was like, that's just so cute. But yeah, I personally probably don't think they're engaged. It seems like she probably just wears rings all over her fingers. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Also, don't think that they're engaged. And I feel like people are looking too much into having a ring on your finger, unless it is like a big rock. Then I'm like, I feel like we're speculating too much, zooming into people's fingers, and that's just like weird in my opinion. If they are engaged though, I do like them as a couple. I really do. I would just like low key, if I was her, I would feel some type of way because like, why is everyone talking about Olivia Dean when his new album came out, but meanwhile he's engaged to me? I don't know. That's just me. I would be like a little just like side eyeing the people, I guess. But those are my thoughts on it. And if they are engaged, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the kind of couple that's gonna be like a Zendaya Tom Holland couple, where like we never get no confirmation of nothing, you know. We just, it's all speculations. We all like know that they got married, but like we don't know, you know, because there's no proof about it. I wouldn't put it past them if they are that kind of couple. But with that, you guys, we're going to go ahead and get into what we're watching. And I actually am watching something. I started Tell Me Lies. I watched Tell Me Lies when it first came out, like season 1. But my thing with like shows, especially if I'm watching them live, it takes me forever to actually finish the show. Because you gotta wait for episodes and stuff, and I just forget about the show existing. So I started rewatching season 1, and I'm currently halfway through season 1, and I forgot like how toxic Steven and whatever the main girl's name is. Yeah, I can't imagine being in a relationship that is that toxic on both sides. But yeah, I am watching Tell Me Lies right now.
So I have recently started 2 new shows. I started Beef season 1. I literally started that actually yesterday, and I was not expecting to really like it as much because I think this is low key like my 4th time or 3rd time trying to watch this show. But me and Kelsey were just together, and she was like, "Yeah, it's like low key like The White Lotus," because I saw that Charles Melton was on season 2, and I was like, "Oh, that has my interest peaked." So yesterday I started it, and I ended up watching the first 4 episodes, and it's so funny, super good. I just love the filming. The main actors are super good, and so I really recommend it. So if you guys have not started that show, you should. And season 2 just came out. I've seen some kind of conflicting reviews about it, but I will see how I feel about it since I will be watching it like right after each other. And then I started The Studio, which is on Apple TV, and it's where Seth Rogen, he's like the head of the studio, and he makes like all these like wacky choices. It's shot one shot style, and it's a really funny show. I don't know how to like really say my thoughts about it. I've watched like the first like 4 episodes of this too. It's kind of like funny for me who's like an outsider on like the film industry, but I feel like people who are in the film industry probably like really resonate with this show. But it's just like a really like funny show. It is just kind of shows how kind of intense, I guess you can say, and like chaotic film sets could be, and just like the whole film industry could be. And I think it's cool that they kind of like have like real actors in it, but like in this like made up world, if that makes sense. Like Anthony Mackie and Dave Franco were in it as actors, like as themselves though. but like they aren't necessarily themselves still, if that makes sense. But I don't know, I just really liked it. Super funny, and I feel like it's probably a really realistic view of like what the film industry is really like.
And now we're gonna go ahead and get into song of the week. So my song of the week for you guys is "The Hardest Part" by Olivia Dean, and here's my favorite part. So even if I could, wouldn't go back where we started. I know you're still. And that's my song of the week.
And my song of the week is "Don't You Think It's Strange" by Wallows from their Model album. Recently, I've been loving this album, but just the beginning part of this song, it's just so good. Like, I don't know, something about that just makes me want to dance. It gives me life. But with that being said, we are now going to get into the topic of this episode, which is our relationship deal breakers. So me and Liz are just going to go back and forth, and I feel like I should maybe put a disclaimer that like this is just fun, and some of these may be serious and some of these like may not be serious. I don't know. Don't get butt hurt. I don't think anyone will, but I feel like I just felt like I had to make a disclaimer.
Also, my disclaimer is I feel like from what I saw of Kennedy's list and my list, none of this is like physical, you guys. Like this is all like characteristic, personality, like that kind of thing, which is I feel like what people should focus on more, than like he's too short. That's a deal breaker. So we're not trying to be like too superficial with these. We are trying to get a little bit deeper with them. But yeah, and if you have a problem with them, honestly, I feel like that says enough, and maybe we just aren't meant to be.
That part. So I'll go first. So my first deal breaker is if they are not passionate about something. And I definitely have talked about this before in other like relationship episodes, but just like it truly does not have to be anything serious. Like you can be passionate about freaking collecting trinkets, about filmmaking, about taking pictures, cooking, literally the simplest things. You just have to be passionate about something, because I feel like that says a lot about someone if they have like these hobbies and stuff that they just unequivocally, I don't even know if I use that word in the right sense, if they just like so openly just like something and are passionate about something and interested in something. I don't know, I feel like that's just such a green flag and like says a lot about your character, and that like you're a multifaceted human, and that you, I don't know, I feel like it says a lot about how you also like see the world, I would say.
And I feel like that ties in perfectly to when I was talking about, I don't even know what episode, but a couple weeks ago when I was talking about people like not having passions and being so nonchalant about everything. Like the nonchalantness can only go so far, you guys. You have to have passions.
And it's also like it shows that like you care about something outside of like yourself, if that makes sense.
And then my first one is that they don't push me / challenge me. So I feel like this is in the sense of like, honestly, like everything. I feel like your partner should be someone who like pushes you, whether it be like physically, like, I don't know, like doing stuff outside of your comfort zone, like going to the gym or like staying fit or like doing like that kind of stuff maybe, or like also pushing you like emotionally, like having like those hard conversations, spiritually too, I don't know, but I want someone that like is pushing me in a way to like better myself, if that makes sense. Like I'm not just trying to like enter into this relationship and come out of this relationship the exact same person, like have some challenges and like pushing each other to like grow, because I feel like in a relationship you grow together. So I feel like if they're not challenging me and pushing me, then like we're not getting anywhere, like it's not benefiting us. And obviously like vice versa, like I would also want to like give them that kind of energy too, if that makes sense.
And it's like, I feel like if you and your partner kind of like agreed on like a lot of things, and it's like kind of boring, like I think it's always nice to have someone to like challenge you, to just like thank you, to make you think about different things. And I feel like that like helps each person grow.
Exactly. And like if you're not like challenging one another or anything, like you're literally just agreeing to everything, like there is no like, and it's not even like necessarily like, you have to like disagree and it turns into an argument, but just like being able to like see their perspective and like challenges you. I just think it's like a lot of different ways that you're both growing together, which is at the end of the day what a relationship should be about.
And then my next one is if they judge me for being a fangirl or my obsessions, you're out. Because I feel like that is such a crucial part of my personality and part of like who I am. Like, yes, I love obsessing over these little celebrities that I see in my movies and stuff. And I do like to keep up with them. Who cares? And yes, I do love collecting my Sunny Angels, and I do love my books. And some people may think it's like stupid or childish, but like it brings me joy. And I think the crux of it is like, okay, it may not be your thing, but like if it brings me joy, then why do you care? Is like the main point of it. And it's like I would never judge someone for something they like, so why would you judge me for this? And I feel like there's so many like TikToks you see is like, how am I supposed to have a boyfriend if I can't like, watch thirst edits of my favorite like celebrity crush or something? And then some people are like, well, girl, I have a boyfriend and I still do it. So it's just like, some people's partners don't care. And then I like, there's just so many times where men will just try to like dog on women's interest and stuff. And it's like, why?
Clock it is all I have to say about that one, because like, why are we hating and side-eyeing each other on like the things we enjoy? I think that is the biggest red flag, and that is like, honestly, that is like the start of you settling for like less than you deserve. And my next one is not being open to new cultures, and I have specifically like under this like subcategory or sub bullet point, and it says it doesn't try to learn Spanish / shows no interest. So obviously coming from like a Mexican background, like my like Mexican culture and everything is very important to me. So if they're not open to like learning about that, or they're like, I truly think is that if they're not open to it, I feel like that is the biggest red flag for me. And I also like, I wouldn't want to be in a relationship where like, obviously I don't expect them to like learn Spanish like and be able to speak it perfectly. Like no. I just mean like they're like they show an interest in wanting to learn it. I'm not saying they have to like sign up for like lessons, but like they like ask me like, oh, like how do you say this? Or like they try to like do little small things that makes them like connect to my culture and everything, especially just like with my parents like being like from Mexico and everything. I feel like that is very important to me. And I don't know. I feel like if you're not open to like new cultures or just like learning new languages or like putting in that effort, it's like you're not accepting of who I am as a person. I don't know. So I feel like that would be just like a really big red flag for me. And that's like the one thing I feel like that I wouldn't settle for. Like out of my whole list, I think that's like the most important one for me.
Yeah, I completely agree because it's like you said, that's literally a part of you. It's part of your identity. It shapes everything about how you think, how you move within the world, and just how you do things, and is very connected to like your family and stuff. So it's like if you don't understand this, then like you don't understand me fundamentally as a person. And I feel like that's not only like a red flag because like you don't care, but I feel like that could also be somewhat of like a safety risk. Like not to be like so like woke about it or whatever, but it truly like it is that serious for women of color when it comes to dating. Like you truly have to understand this because not only because it's a part of who I am, but like for safety reasons, like you have to understand like this is who I am and how we move in the world, especially with everything that we're seeing going on in the world with ICE and all of that. Like it truly, like you just truly have to understand that stuff. And like it really is that deep to understand and be open and learn things about a new culture.
Exactly that. Kennedy said it perfectly, you guys. And like the only thing I could add to it is also like with like the language part specifically, like I know so many couples I feel like where one person is like they speak Spanish or whatever, and then the other person speaks English, obviously, and they've been together for literally years, you guys. And like the English speaking person knows not a single little part of Spanish. I feel like that just shows that like they have no interest in like getting to know that. And I'm not expecting them to be fluent by any means, but I feel like just trying to show interest and do like a little bit here and there, I think it speaks a lot about who you are as a person. So I think it just like all ties in together about like who you are, your values. It just all really comes together, I feel like. But yeah, that is my second one for you guys.
And then my next one, this one might be a controversial one, but that is if they have more girlfriends than me. And see, this might be a little difficult for a man because I have 3 friends. So that might be a low number. But I'm just like, was I gonna go with that? But yeah, if you truly have more girlfriends than me, then it's kind of like interesting. Like are they truly your friends, or is it like, oh, these are people who think they might have a chance with you later on, or is it some people that you thought you were like interested in some way, if that makes sense? I don't know if people can call that insecure or whatever. I don't think it is. It's just like very like side eye, because why do you have more girlfriends than me? Like, are you for everyone? Like, are you the community boy that everyone just loves? Because if so, y'all can have that. Y'all can have him. I will move on to the next.
And little disclaimer, Kennedy's referring to like female friends, not like I feel like I hate how like girlfriends, you have to like emphasize that it's a female friend. But yeah, Kennedy's talking about like female friends. And like I can see like where you're coming from of like, why do you have so many female friends? Like what do you like? And honestly, like, yes, like some people are very like social and everything, but at the same time, unfortunately, like there is that like that underlying of like you might be like a flirt and everything. So it's kind of like, what is the true reason of all these female friends, and like what, how genuine are they? Like did you ever like have a little something with them, even a little flirtation going on? That's what she's getting at.
That part, and I do understand like it's a lot deeper than that, on why a straight male guy can have a lot of girlfriends, but for the sake of this episode we're not going to get that deep. But that is something, like if I go through your following, it's just girls, 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 and you follow over 1,000 people, I'm definitely going to be side-eyeing you a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie.
Exactly. I'm glad that you said that example, because I feel like that is exactly like what you're referring to. Like it's specifically on the Instagram part of it. Like, why do you follow more females than guys? And half the time they don't follow you back. I feel like that says a lot about you. And then my next one is doesn't have the same values or morals. And I feel like this one is a big one for me. And I'm not saying like they necessarily have to be like the same political party and everything, but they do have to have like the same like values and morals, I feel like, because I feel like if you have those foundational values and morals, you can grow and a lot more better together. I feel like if we don't even have that foundation, we're going to be disagreeing about a lot of things. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like my values and morals aren't anything like crazy. Like it truly is just like decent, like humanity, like being a human being, like humane to people and everything. Like it's nothing crazy, you guys. So I'm like, if you don't even have those basic values and morals, I I don't see how we can have a future together. Specifically, like especially with like this day and age, with like all like the political stuff that's going on and everything. A lot of it I feel like comes down to morals and values, and it's like if you don't have these values and morals, you wouldn't be so like in favor or like supporting the stuff that's going on. So it's like, why are we even gonna try to have anything? Especially like if it turns like long term, like marriage and everything, and you have kids and everything. I can't imagine like raising another human being with someone who doesn't have the same values and morals. I think that's like also like a really big one for me.
Yeah, I don't have much to add, but I completely agree. Just like, especially like you said, with everything going on, is that serious? The first question: did you vote for Trump? If so, you're done.
It really is that simple. And again, like for it's nothing about like being a Republican or anything. It's truly like, did you vote for him? Okay, you don't have the same values. You don't have the same morals because you're supporting that man. Like it's truly, you guys, it's nothing complex. And I feel like if you think it's something complex, then that speaks a lot.
And like one little note before I say mine, I think it's kind of weird when like people who vote for Trump, like that is just such like a discriminatory party and stuff. It's just so interesting because I get mad when people say like, oh, I won't mess with you because you voted for Trump, you're MAGA or whatever, but then they're the same people who want to like separate everything. I don't know, the mental gymnastics doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, my next one is someone who can't lean into the bit. Like if I can't just joke around with you like that, then like you're annoying. Like even like on a friendship level, I can't do that. Like I remember um I used to have a friend, and we were at a brunch, and I remember I said something about like, oh, like I'm so glad I don't have like a man because like I go to bed peaceful, no one's disturbing my peace. And she was like, well, if they're your man, like of course you like them, like duh, but like I'm doing a bit here. Like it's like you need to like lean into the bit, understand the sarcasm, understand that like I just want to like be a comedian, I guess, in this moment. It's just like, I don't know how to say it. It's just like people who can't lean into the bit, they ruin the vibe because it's like you're being a party pooper. Like, just have fun, loosen up a little bit. Because I feel like doing bits is how I connect with people.
Yeah, I could. This definitely is a big one for Kenny because, like, even in our friend group and everything, like, there's so many bits that we have here and there going, and it's just like a moment of like, you don't have to be so serious about everything. You know, like you can take a breath, you can like, you can be a little haha moment, and honestly, I feel like that's like the best times that we have together. Our next one for you guys is doesn't have their own hobbies or interests. And then I put like a little bullet point of two on top of me. I need my like it being alone, being independent moment, like obviously like I want to do things together, like don't get me wrong, but like we need to be able to do things separately. We need to have our own like hobbies and interests that don't like have to be intertwined 24/7. So like if they don't have their own hobbies and interests and they're always wanting to do everything with me, that is just so suffocating for me. I don't know. I'm just the kind of person who like values being alone sometimes and values my like being independent. So I need to have my own hobbies and interests, and they also need to have their own hobbies and interests. Yeah, like, and it honestly, like, it can be stuff that like I'm like low key I would never do, and that's perfectly fine because you need to have your own like independent time. Even like long term, like when you're married and everything, we need to have our own independent hobbies and interests too.
I definitely agree with that, especially coming from someone who really enjoys like being alone and solitude. Like, I truly just find joy in that. But it's just so important to like not spend every waking moment together as a couple because I don't know, I feel like that just adds like too much dependency on each other. And honestly, it's like a relationship, so obviously you guys should depend on each other to a certain extent, but like I think in order to live like a full life, you guys should each have your own lives apart from each other. Cause like imagine I was actually watching a Joe Curie interview and he was saying how in the past in like relationships or stuff, it was truly like if you think about it, of a house of cards, he was like too dependent. So like let's say the house of cards were like this touching each other for the audio listeners. My fingertips are touching each other. So if one person falls, then you collapse too. But like that's not like the right relationship. So I think that was like a good analogy, and and what Elizabeth said reminded me of that. So it's just like a relationship shouldn't be depending on each other, where one person kind of like does something, you're gonna collapse. Like it truly just needs to be a stable house. You know, you're both anchors for each other, but you guys aren't like you don't depend on each other for a bunch of things. And I think honestly a lot of personal growth happens when you're doing like things by yourself too. And I think if you want to show up in your best self in a relationship, it's good to have that alone time to work on yourself.
Love that card analogy because that is literally what it is. And also, it's like if you're doing every single thing together, what do you have to talk about, you guys? Like, what do you have to update them on? Like, you have to be able to like update them and like tell them like what you did, like how you enjoyed doing that or whatever. And then they're like listening. And then also, I love like watching like movies or like TV shows when it's truly like, or even like honestly, YouTube. Like, I'd be seeing this on vlogs where like the girl is like, telling him a day, and he's truly just like enamored by like what she did and her like in talking about something that she enjoys. Like there's something so unique, I feel like, and like a different kind of love between that of being able to just like talk about things that you're passionate about and that you enjoy doing to someone who doesn't enjoy doing those things, and then like being happy for you. So I feel like that also like gives you like things to talk about and discuss because like I said, if you're doing everything together, it's gonna be a lot of silence.
Well, I'm doing a complete 180 from my next one, or 360, whatever. Okay, so my next one is can't respect my views on certain things. I didn't know how to like fully put this into words, so I'll explain it to hopefully help you guys understand where I'm coming from. So like in my mind, this is like an example. So I am Christian, but this might be controversial, but I don't necessarily at this point in my life, I don't think it would be necessary for my future partner to be Christian, if that makes sense. Like that's just not a deal breaker for me, because me personally, I view religion and my relationship with God as like a personal, like individual thing. So I wouldn't necessarily expect someone else to like think the same way in that aspect, because I don't think necessarily religion is all the time related to someone's morals, if that makes sense. And it's just an example. But so like if I were to date someone who isn't Christian, they still need to respect that I am Christian, if that makes sense. So that's like the main thing that comes to mind. So it's like, if you can't respect it, like you don't have to be it, but like you need to like respect me and respect the religion and respect my beliefs, especially if we were to raise kids or whatever, which I know is also another controversial thing because some people are like, you shouldn't raise your kids with two different beliefs or whatever. But I think if you have the same morals, it's fine. But yeah, the whole point of all this is to say that just respect my view on certain things, and then we can live in harmony.
I think also like just like not even in relationships specifically, but I feel like that goes like, well, not in like romantic relationships. I feel like that goes for all relationships, you know, like you can't push certain beliefs or like views on people. Like you can definitely like have a conversation, and if people want to like take that in and do with it what they want, then they can, but like you can't push stuff onto other people. I feel like, I don't know if that made sense. But my next one for you guys, anyways, is not down to do things I like, and then vice versa, me too. Like all this stuff I'm talking about, I do want to say like preface by saying if I need to, like obviously like I also would be doing the reciprocating. You know, like this isn't like a just receiving one. No, I understand it's a mutual reciprocation of things. But anyways, I was saying not down to do things I like. So I feel like we should be able to, obviously we're going to have our own independent hobbies and interests, but sometimes like it's okay and it's totally cool to like join in and like do what the other one likes to do. And even if I'm not like down to it, I don't know, like for example, I could think of like I enjoy going to the bookstore or like going and like opening little Sunny Angels and stuff. And if I would like to like share that with them sometimes, you know, and maybe they're not a reader, but I would still like for them to come with me to the bookstore and like do that kind of thing. And then same for me, if I'm like, I don't know, they want to go watch some sporting event or something, and I'm like, it's not my favorite thing, but I'm still gonna go, I'm still gonna have a good time, you know, because I'm with that person. And I'm like, I think that there's something like really special about seeing someone do, or seeing someone in an environment where they enjoy doing it, and also like being able to like share that with them. I think that that's like really special in a way. So I feel like that would be a deal breaker if they're not willing to like join me for my interest in hobbies, even if they don't like them.
Yeah, and I agree with that, especially because like I don't know, it all goes back to like if it brings your partner joy, then like why like not do it with them? It's just another reason to just one spend more time with them and to see, things that make them happy. And I feel like you should be lucky that they are inviting you in, because there's like so many people you hear that's like, "Ugh, I wish I never showed this person like my favorite movie or something like that." So it's just like the fact that they're even letting you in is like really nice. And now that's really sweet. That reminded me of this podcast I listened to. They're a married couple, and the girl, she really likes going to like museums and stuff, when they're like traveling, because she really likes history, but the husband doesn't. But like he still goes along with her because like he knows it brings her joy. So just like little things like that. But I will say, for me personally, you can get me to do a lot of things, but please don't ask me to go on a hike, like a extraneous hike, aka, or not aka. If you know, you know, with the Alpine divorce, where some of these men, they literally will take their girlfriends like on these like extreme hikes, and then like just ditch them because they get frustrated that the woman can't keep up. And one time, and why this came up is because there's a recent case in like Austria or something where the girl ended up dying because the guy ditched her. So, ladies, be safe out there.
New fear unlocked, you guys. I didn't know that that was an option. New fear unlocked.
And then my next one is if my man can't fully understand me, then you're out. Which I feel like this seems like a simple one, like duh. But I feel like there's so many people you see on the internet. They're like, I'm dating this guy. I'm married to my husband, and like he just doesn't understand me, and like they feel like they can't be themselves around their partner, and I hate that. So like that's something for me. We're gonna nip that in the bud in the beginning. Like if you can't fully understand me in terms of just how I think, my struggles with mental health, how I am with my friends, I guess, or my relationships with my family and just my relationship to all these other things, and like you just truly can't understand me, then like there's gonna be a problem because then I'm gonna get defensive and then we're gonna be arguing and then we're gonna have to break up.
That just like reminded me of a pet peeve of mine of like when people say like, oh, like they're just that way, like, oh, like that's just her, like that's like, I feel like that's just so condescending in the sense of like you're not understanding like how they are, like you're just like making not making excuses, but you're just like, I don't even know how to word it specifically, but I feel like that goes with what Kennedy's saying of just like not accepting you as who you are, like, oh, she's just that way, like it's just like the way that they say that comment sometimes, it's like you obviously don't understand them, and you don't have to agree with them, but you just have to be able to like understand like why people do something the way that they do it.
It's like very like dismissive and condescending, and like the way I think of this, like when I wrote this, it was kind of like, let's say I wanted to vent about like my anxiety or something, and it's like and if someone was like, oh, but just do this, but like you don't understand that I literally like can't do that, my brain won't let me. So that's just like an example. But yeah, that's all I had to say.
Yes, condescending is the perfect way to put it, because like why are we looking down on each other? And then I feel like that ties perfectly into my next one, which is judgmental of things that make me me. I think I would immediately break up with someone if they like side eye something that I'm like, not side eye. Obviously, like side eye. I feel like there's two types of side eyes. There's like a funny side eye that like you do with your friends, and it's like side eye, you know, like that kind of thing. And then there's a side eye that's like filled with like judgment and like ew, like why are you doing that? You know, like if someone did that, I would feel so like I feel like I would feel so insecure about like what I am doing or like what I enjoy doing. And I feel like that speaks a lot of like, okay, we're just not meant to be. We're not compatible, because you don't have to enjoy what I like to do, or you don't have to enjoy the things that make me me, but like you have to be open and like accepting those things, like Kennedy was saying, kind of, I guess. And yeah, like if they're like judgmental about it, they're obviously not accepting of it. So I feel like they're not accepting of who I am as a person. And I think everyone has different like things that they enjoy, or just like things that make us, like our personality and things, and like it's just things that you don't change, you know, that's unique to who you are as a person. So if you're going to be judgmental of those things, it's like you're judgmental of who I am and like my existence.
I agree, and especially because I feel like everyone knows that like you have a good like relationship, not even like romantic, but just like friendship, family relationship. If you can like truly be weird with someone, and so if you're like being comfortable enough to be weird, and then they're judging you, it's like, oh, like I'm not hungry anymore, like, oh, like I'm not comfortable in this relationship anymore, but like you should be.
Exactly that part. And that goes, like Kennedy said, that can go be friendships, romantic relationships, just anything. Like don't surround yourselves, or like I wouldn't want to surround myself with people who aren't accepting of like who I am. Even like little smart comments here and there, you know, like they built up, and it shows like who that person is as a person.
That part, and probably at the end of the day they're just upset because you're living as authentically as you are, and they for some reason can't, and they're jealous of you. Clock it. And then I have two more. I'm gonna go quickly because I feel like they're probably self-explanatory. But first is if they are a bigot in any way, shape, or form, or is friends with a bigot, and like this may, and the way I was thinking about this is like, okay, you may not be racist, but what if you are like race or not racist? Let's say like you may not be racist towards one group of people, but then you say some racist stuff about like another group of people, and like that still rubs me the wrong way. Or if you like say certain words, or if you like you may not be this, but like you may be misogynistic. I don't know. Just like stuff like that. It's like, oh, you may be fine in this way, but I feel like I want someone that's well rounded, because it's like you never know when the narrative can flip on you, if that makes sense. Like you can never be too sure. And then it's like, okay, you may be fine, but like what if you are friends with someone who is a bigot? I feel like that says the company you keep says a lot about you as well. So I will always side eye. Like we all see those memes where it's like that liberal girlfriend, but she has a conservative racist boyfriend. It's like, ooh, where do your morals really lie? You know what I mean? So I'm just like, if you have friends that are questionable, I'm sorry, I'm out, because like I would imagine that I would have to meet his friends at some point, and I'm not spending my time, precious energy around a bigot personally. And then my last one, if he wants to be a male influencer, I'm sorry. Influencing is for the girls or gay men. I am sorry. Like it truly, like it actually bothers me so much. I'm sorry, like, not to be judgmental, but like, one, people hate on influencers because it is a female dominated field and they're mad that girls can get money just being cute, showing off outfits, being themselves on social media. That's why they be hating. But then here come the male influencers and they basically just try to like take what the girls are doing, but try to like manify it and try to make it more masculine. It's like whatever. Like I freaking hate how like some makeup companies have used like Rob Roush as like a face of some makeup stuff that he doesn't even use. I'm like, sir, what are you doing here? But like there's so like I truly believe like yes, some influencer hate is like valid, but like overall I think it's truly because y'all hate that men or y'all hate that women are making so much money and don't need men to depend on to make as much money that comes out of this $1 billion industry. And like I just like I said, sorry if this makes me sound a certain way, but like influencing is for the girls. There's this influencer that I follow and I love, so I'm not gonna like name drop her, but her boyfriend is an influencer and like sometimes she like reposts his content and stuff, and I'm just like, I could never date a male influencer because respectfully, what do you mean I have to film for you and we have to go out to film like a food review for you? Like and what do you mean you're vlogging our date night right now? Like that just does not seem right to me. I'm just like, no, I just personally could never do that. And that is maybe hypocritical for someone who I guess you can say is trying to become an influencer, but like I don't know, I feel like I'm doing it in a tasteful way. And if I were to ever get into not if we're gonna put this out there, when I get into a relationship, he is not gonna be plastered all over my social media and stuff like that in general. But I'm just like I couldn't imagine like that like dating a male influencer because like I'm not filming for you, I'm not doing any of that for you, I'm not reposting your content. Mm-mm. But I don't hate on males in creative fields. Like if you're a musician or whatever, perfect. But influencer, no.
That just reminded me, I just the whole time of Kennedy's little rant, it reminded me of dad talk. Like, yeah, that is such an ick to me. Like, why are you guys existing? Why are you guys doing your thing? And I feel like most male influencers do it in the way of dad talk in the sense of like you're making fun of the female. Like, I haven't seen like any like straight man influencer that in isn't really, I mean, okay. I want to say I feel like it's in the US because I have seen like Spanish, like in Spain influencers, male influencers that do it correctly and they're not like making fun of the female. But I feel like in the United States, since it's such a misogynistic society, all of the male influencers inadvertently are making fun of female influencers, you know, or like they do it in a way where it comes off that way, so it's like it defeats the whole purpose, you know, and it just shows like who you are as a person if you're doing it in that way, the I'm gonna call it the dad talk way, because that's what they're doing, is like making fun of like mom talk. But if you're doing it in the way that's like not making fun of it and you truly are just making content, like I've seen like runners do content, and like I said, like I've seen a lot of like Spanish influencers and stuff, and they do it the right way where like they have their content but they're not making fun of the females. It's the ones that make fun of the females where I'm like, you're doing too much, sir.
Yes, I agree with everything Elizabeth said. Like I'm talking about like the dad talk ification of those type of male influencers who their whole thing is they're making content because they can't believe people would watch these women do it. So like surely like they would rather watch me instead. Like those are the ones I freaking hate because I there are definitely some male influencers or content creators that like I have watched on like YouTube and stuff and like no complaints. But yeah, like the dad talk adjacent dad talk like that type of vibe. No, no way, Jose, not over here. Get him banned.
Okay. And that is just some of our relationship deal breakers. We do probably, if we really thought about it, we do have more, you guys. But like I said, these weren't like superficial really. They were just like really truly just personality and morals and values. And I feel like that says enough about me and Kennedy as people. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far into the episode, comment down below your relationship deal breaker. What is it? Let us know. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? Drop it down below on whatever platform you're listening to. And like Kennedy said at the beginning, make sure you guys are following us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on YouTube. Even if you are just a audio listener or you are just a video listener, make sure you check us out on both, you know, help us grow a little bit on both platforms. And yeah, make sure you guys are following us on Instagram and TikTok as well. But without further ado, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.